How's it going, everyone? Abe with Auto Addict USA here. Today we have a very special installation video. We will be reviewing how to install the S650 Euro taillights, as you can see below. For this installation video, you are going to need a few tools: a 1/4-inch ratchet, a 7mm socket, a 1/4-inch extension, a small flathead screwdriver, an interior trim tool, a towel, and your instruction guides. So let's get started. Okay, so starting on the side of the vehicle, you're gonna get your 1/4-inch ratchet and a 7mm with the extension. One of these bolts will be able to come out with just this 7mm socket. The other one, you will need the extension as it is deep inside. Just enough where you can go in and do it with your hand. It's not quite there yet. They are spec'd to 18 Newton meters on this vehicle. It's not too tight. So once you get to a certain point where it's loose enough, you can stop using the ratchet and just kind of use your hands to wiggle these bolts out. You don't need to take off the rear wheels for this installation unless you really want to, but in our opinion, you don't really need it. All right, so once you get the bottom bolts out, you're gonna move on to the top one that meets the bumper to the quarter panel. This one's a little bit tricky. You can kind of see how here I am using the extension with the 7mm, and I'm using my hand to support it, and I'm just loosening the bolt. So now that you've removed the 3 screws from the interior well, you're gonna take your trim tool and you're gonna remove the push pin that is securing the fender liner to the bumper, and it should just pop out. Sometimes they like to get stuck in the fender liner, and you can just take your hand and pry it out like so. Okay, so now that we've removed the bolts and the clips from the sides of the bumper, we're gonna go underneath the car right here. In this specific scenario, we are not using jack stands or a jack, so it is safe to go underneath the car. If you are, for any reason, have your car lifted, make sure that you test your jack stands and you make sure that you are safe to go underneath the vehicle before you proceed. That is very important. Safety is always number one. On the bottom side, you're going to find about 7 or 8 7mm screws. Same tool. Let's go take them out. So you may be wondering why I'm using manual tools instead of power tools. Well, I want to show you guys, for all the people that don't have power tools, that it's just as easy and quick to do this by hand. Okay, so now that you've removed all these nice bolts, on each side there's going to be 2 push type clips. You're gonna need to remove those, and then we are pretty much almost there. So let's get these off. Okay, so now that everything's loose and you're ready to pop these off, what you're gonna do is, this has a little slot that sits up against the bumper, so you kind of need to pull downwards and out. And then once you get one of the clips, you can use your fingers to slowly pry out the rest of them. The manual from Ford says that this is a 2-person job to remove the bumper. It is definitely doable with 1 person, but if you have a friend with you, I would definitely have them help you out and moving or grabbing the other side and helping you pull this straight out. There is some 3M adhesive in this top corner that allows the bumper to sit flush. So if you get to this area and you feel like there's a bunch of tightness, just work it slow and pull out like this, and you'll slowly break the tension of the adhesive, and eventually you'll be able to pull it straight out. So let's get to it. Okay, so this part may be tricky for some of you. This is where the flathead screwdriver comes in. You'll be able to pull this out, and you'll start to see this bracket separate. The first one, in all honesty, I think you'll be able to just pull out by yourself like that. And if you get lucky, like I just did, that's not scripted, it'll come out on its own. But if not, you'll be able to use this flathead and wedge and be able to release these clips. And once you've released these clips, because this bracket is supposed to stay on the vehicle and doesn't come off with the bumper, you're good to go. We're ready to just straight pull out. If you don't want to disconnect anything, you don't have to. You can work from here. You can work around this bumper. You can just tuck it back into place. And from here, we'll be able to remove the spare wheel cover, like so. And on the inside, come over here, I'll show you, there is these little guys. That will just twist straight off. I believe there is 4 of them on this one. Okay, so now that those are removed, you're going to loosen this up. And this is a personal preference. You don't have to do this. It just makes it a little bit easier for the clips to disengage. You'll have to pull out like this. Once this is pulled out, you'll be able to pull straight up like so. Remove this like so. Be careful on this, as on the back side, you do have these. And if you pull outwards, you can also see the clips right here. This is what's really holding it in. If you pull outwards too much, you'll break these guide pins very easily. These are probably anywhere between 50 to 80 bucks from the dealership, so you don't really want to break it. So from here, we are able to access the tail light bolts. And you can see on this model, we have 1, 2, maybe 3, 4. Yep. And a third one on the back side. You can kind of feel it with your hand. So these, if I'm not mistaken by the looks of it, it's probably a 10 millimeter. It's always a 10 millimeter, isn't it? Okay, so we have a deep socket 10 millimeter. Let's go ahead and remove these. All right, so after you have removed the 3 nuts that are holding the rear lamp in, you will find the connector right here on the bottom. I could probably do this with my eyes closed, push it in, and pops right out like that. All you have to do from there is make sure you push the grommet through for the weather stripping, and you make sure it's loose. And from there, we should be able to remove this cover, or just pull it straight out. All right, so now that everything is unplugged, we have removed the 3 nuts on the backside. We are almost ready to remove the taillights. The last 3 bolts that we need to take out are for this taillight bracket, which is also what supports the rear bumper. For this, you're going to get a 8 millimeter deep socket. There is 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3. This doesn't need to be fully removed. I would hold on to it when you're removing the last one and slowly drop it down. After you do that, you will free up the taillight and it will be able to remove straight out. So. Okay, so we'll be able to pull this down, and then this should be able to pop straight out. From here, you'll have the wiring harness on the right side, and you'll be able to pull the rubber grommet and fish out the wiring. Like so. Make sure put these to the side, and let's get ready to install the new S650 Euro taillights. Okay, so now we are ready to install the new taillights. What you're gonna do is same as how you took it out. We're gonna start with the wiring harness and feed it through. As you feed it through, the light will need to come closer, and make sure the grommet is properly seated, and voila, the new light's in. So now all you have to do is reverse assembly on the entire side. And before you go too far, I would probably recommend testing the lights at this stage. In this particular case, these are our demo lights. We know they work, so we don't need to test in this specific scenario. But if you're doing this at home, make sure you test them before you put everything back together. Otherwise, you have to take it all back out again and give us a call. So test them out. Okay, so there we have it. That is the S650 Euro taillight installed on your vehicle. Reverse assembly to get everything back on. I don't think we need to review that with you guys. If for any reason you guys have any issues with this installation, feel free to reach out to us at sales@autoaddictusa.com, or you can hop on our website, chat us, or give us a call. Either works. This will work for both the clear version and the smoked version that you see on the vehicle. Thank you guys for joining. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your pre-orders and ensuring that we can continue to develop cool products for all vehicles. Hope you have a great night. Thank you for joining me. Once again, I'm Abe with Auto Addict. And don't forget to hit that bell notification and like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you.